Hi, this is Carson Does Math, where Carson, me, teaches you math very quickly. Here, we're doing factoring. So right here we have n to the fourth plus 2n squared minus 24. And we're just going to factor this by taking our two parentheses. This being n to the fourth and n to the squared rather than this being n squared and this being n to the fourth is no issue. We're just going to put those right there into the squared in our parentheses. Now, to figure out the rest of our parentheses, what we want to do is find two numbers that multiply to get 24, but add or subtract, or I'm sorry, negative 24, and then add or subtract to positive 2. So I'm just going to start listing out the different things that multiply together to get 24. So that's 24 times 1. That doesn't work. 24 minus 1 is 23. 24 plus 1 is 25, so that doesn't work. We have 12 times 2. That also doesn't work. We have 6 times 4. Now, if we do 6 minus 4, that will get us to this positive 2. So, but we still have to have them multiply together to get negative 24. So one of these is going to be positive and one of these is going to be negative. Since this is a positive 2, that means we have to have 6 minus the 4 over here in order to properly have this factor out. Now, if the question that was asking this wanted it to be fully factored, this right here, n squared minus 4, is a little trick called the difference of two squares. When you're factoring something, and you have n to the squared minus something that is a number squared, so that's 4, 9, 16, 25, numbers like that. All you have to do is just do n squared minus the square root of this number, which in this case is 2. Sorry, n, my bad there. And then the n plus 2. When these multiply together, that gets this. This over here is unfactorable unless you do a specific type of equation, so we can just leave it like that. In another more complex example, we see how you can basically make life easier for yourself when you go to factor things if you can divide stuff out. In this w to the 3 plus w squared minus 20w, you see there's a w in every single term. So we can take that w out, or factor it out, if you will, basically by dividing w for each of these terms. So if you divide w to the 3 by w, you get w squared. Positive w squared divided by w is just normal w, and then negative 20 divided by w is just negative 20. When we go to factor this over here, we bring the w down and then set up our two parentheses. Now we place our w's over here. Whatever variable this is, you always just place it right there. Now we have to look for something, two numbers over here that multiply to get negative 20, but add to get positive 1w. Remember, over here there's always just a little tiny 1 that we don't talk about. So now I'm going to list out the factors of 20 right here. We have 20 and 1. These you can multiply these together to get negative 20, but they do not add to 1. They would add or subtract to 19 or 21. We have 2 and 10. This also doesn't work. And then we have 5 and 4. And oh, would you look at that? 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. So knowing that, and knowing that we have a negative right here, one of these is going to be positive, and one of these is going to be negative. And due to this being a positive w, that means we have to have 5w, and then we have w minus 4 over here. And you just did factoring. This is very basic, but I'm going to show you one more example where it looks really bad, but it actually isn't as long as you put in the work in before. In this final example, we see a seemingly very complicated set of numbers, but if you notice, you can do the trick from earlier where you factor something out before you go to do all the math. You can notice here that there's an a in every single term, so we can factor out an a right there. And you can also notice that every term is divisible by 2, so we can take a 2 out. This is a great method if you see something that's really complex, and often something where there is a coefficient in front of the first term. You can look for stuff to divide out to make your life a little bit easier. If we divide this first term by 2a, 2a to the third divided by 2a is just a, excuse that terrible drawing, a squared. If we take this next term, 38a to the squared, divided by 2a is 19a. And then this final term, 68a divided by 2a, is just simply 34. Now, remember that is a 19 and that is an a. Next step, we bring that number down and then set up our two parentheses with our a's right there, or whatever variable you're using. Now we have to think of a number that numbers for both of these that multiply to get 34, but add or subtract to get 19. So I'm going to list out the factors of 34 over here. We have 34 and 1. This doesn't add or subtract to get us to 19, so we're going to keep looking. The next one is 2 and 17, and 17. And if we look, 2 plus 17 will get us this 19. Now, all the terms are positive, which means we can just add our positives right there. And if we look, we just drop in our 17 and our 2, and you've just done factoring. If you're interested in more videos on the topic, you can see the rest of the videos on my channel. And if you're interested in the music that we've been listening to throughout this, you can check in the description for that. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.